I would say it requires the most patience, the most self-possession.
Right.
Because I know I'm going to say this so many times, the commonest mistake, the most often. But it does all kind of boil down to, I think, the motive, which is impatience. You know, you would feel like it's taking too long. But, why? What's taking too long? It's helpful to interrogate that a little bit. You would feel pressure. If you draw a bead on a pig, you've come up to the fence line and the pig isn't holding still. You keep putting your iron sights on your target, but it keeps moving, and it just keeps not presenting itself. The opportunity is presenting itself. For some reason, we get impatient with that, even though it's totally nonsensical. I mean, there is a general sense of like efficiency and getting on with the day, but there's no deadline.
That's a good way to put it. Yeah.
You just need to take your time. And technically, once you rid yourself of that pestering obligation to squeeze that trigger, for no particular reason, now rather than later, then you have the peace of mind to only, provided by the conviction to only shoot when it's perfect.
Right.
That was a lot of clauses. But you know what I mean.
Well, all that to say, I mean, we're trying to make it is difficult, but ultimately it opens you up to a much smoother process later.
It does.
From not killing twice or 3 times or 4 times.
Right.
And also to be able to use the whole head. So it's like you're front loading the difficulty.
Yeah.
At that moment.
It is a bit of a bottleneck.
In order to open you up to some smoother moments later. So it's kind of a trade-off.
Like the whole day.
Yeah, which is important.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work ahead of you. You want to be happy while you do it.
Right. If you love your pig, which if you're raising it, it's hard not to love your pig. They are intelligent, charming animals, and they have individuality. So if you have to shoot your pig a couple of times, you're going to feel like, a horrible human all day as you continue processing the pig, no doubt. But there is, when I say it's the only thing more difficult than shooting a pig once is shooting it only twice, I mean that the disaster of having that could result as a result of missing that first shot is incalculable. So, but sometimes it's nothing. It's very interesting. But if you hit a pig, it still has enough wits about it, but it's not dead. It's gonna head for the horizon, and all that fencing,
screaming all the way.
Yeah, and those barriers that you thought were barriers they're nothing. They're nothing to a 300-pound quadruped tank, and so they can bolt for the horizon. So one possibility is they're just gone.
All the hard work.
Yeah. So now technically I've never had that really happen.
Yeah.
And I've probably missed, in 10 years, 8 times or so.
Okay.
And hunt thousands of pigs.
Yeah.
Which is too many, But
well, and so we've got some funny stories because of it.
Yeah. Well, funny for some of us.
I'm sorry.
But
I mean, they were hard moments.
Yeah.
I mean, you were like, you've been dragged by a pig before. Like, hang on. And, as it was heading for the horizon, that one time at Rosebellin.
Oh, in front of a whole class? Oh.
Yeah.
Really?
That's what happened, right? It was dragging you like 30 feet or so.
I think I have cathartically removed it from my memory. Well, one exception. So all of that to say, like, the spectacle that results from a missed shot is so worth the extra patience to wait for the perfect opportunity. So as a practical note, there are 3 times in a pig's daily schedule wherein it is holding still, sleeping, drinking, and urinating.
Right.
For some reason, they don't move their heads during all 3 of those activities. The one that you control is thirst, usually. You can't tell when a pig has to pee, usually in the morning.
Yeah.
Midday, they tend to just be zonked out. They're asleep, so you can use those opportunities. But really, you can deny them water from the day before. And I would say this is a great strategy.
Right.
And then you fill a bowl, so obviously not a nipple, but a bowl of water all the way to the brim. And they go down and they drink. And they hold perfectly still. They don't lap like a dog. They slurp.
They give you
and they give you the target, which is 2.5 to 3 inches above the level of the eyes. It's not right between the eyes, no brains there. It's up here. It's forehead, decisively forehead. And you don't have to be exactly in the center, but you have to be within a golf ball of the center. Mm-hmm. So one crazy thing that has happened to me, I missed a pig once and nothing happened. That was very strange.
Okay.
And it was when, at the beginning, I was using a 22 long rifle.
Okay.
So now I use a 22 WMR.
Right.
Which is much more powder and much more velocity. And the long rifle is a tinier casing. Mm-hmm. And I think that the actual projectile is just a little bit tinier. Mm-hmm. Even though it might not look like it. I don't know. They both say .22, so I don't know. All I know is you can't shoot a long rifle out of a WMR unless it has an interchangeable rotary doodly bob and it's a handgun. Anyway, this was in Florida. I did a class, and they could, whenever I do a class remotely, I guess I could travel with my rifle. I just haven't really tackled that one yet, and so I asked for them to supply it, the farmer, and I was going to teach this farm how to harvest their own pigs. And I lined up the shot, and the pig was eating at the time, which is a relatively still head. It's in a bowl. The vicinity in which the pig's head will be. Uh-huh. You can bracket its movements to the circumference of the bowl, but it's moving within that. Uh-huh. And I took the shot with the 22 long rifle, and the pig looked up and then just went right back down to eating. And I most definitely hit it in the head. And it gives you a sense of just how considerable an implement the skull of a pig is. It is thick. It is a major, major apparatus. And the pig was not even phased. Not even phased. It went back to eating.
Okay.
And then I shot it again, and it went right down.
So how did that... What did you learn from that?
So, and this has only happened to me one other time.
Okay.
What I'm about to describe, not the part where they don't notice. And that is the first shot was perfect.
Okay.
It was exactly on target, 2.5 to 3 inches above the level of the eyes, right in the middle.
Yeah.
And it didn't penetrate. And I only know that from splitting the head afterwise, and looking at the trauma caused by the 2 bullets, and one of them did not go. It didn't make it through the skull, and confirming my later upgrade to a 22 WMR. Now, I've even had the 22 WMR not penetrate.
Wow.
And that's when for a while, it was really hard to get ammo. And during that time, I was kind of stuck with hollow points.
Okay.
Which I knew, gosh, this is just a little risky because of what hollow points do. They mushroom, they expand upon impact. And it was a pig on Vashon in front of a whole class. So that was great. That was really good for my pride. And I shot the pig, and it was dead on. The pig was laying down, almost asleep, holding perfectly still. And so I knew right after I pulled the trigger and noticed that it was unsuccessful that I know I hit it right.
Yeah.
I know I did because he was holding perfectly still. You never miss when a pig is laying down.
Okay.
And I was real close.
Right.
But so the pig got up, yelled at me, and then just ran away in front of a whole class. So that was awesome.
Yeah.
And
you tend to miss most in those situations.
Yeah, when I have an audience.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah. It's a built-in humbling mechanism.
Yeah.
Because usually it's preceded by a long spiel about the importance of the single shot.
What we're doing right now. Yeah.
Right. Yes. And then I miss, and I show them exactly how not to do it.
Yeah.
But in this case, I didn't miss, and it's because it was, even though it was a 22 WMR, it was a hollow point.